Yes, you read that title correctly. You can buy these earphones for just over $4 delivered. But surely they can't be any good, right? But first, a bit of background. This video is not a deep dive into these earphones and comparing frequency response curves to other models or against reference curves. Why? It's more for those who like audio but haven't had much exposure to the world of in-ear monitors or IEMs. People like me. Now, I love a good audio experience, don't get me wrong. I own a few nice pairs of headphones, have a few small hi-fi setups at home, and I work in the industry as an acoustic consultant. But I've never really been into IEMs. I'd always find they'd fall out of my ear too easily, and so I'd prefer open back headphones or a stereo speaker setup. But when I came across these, the GK Kuntens for just over $4, that got me intrigued. Everyone on Reddit is raving about these things. So are these the perfect entrance into the world of enthusiast IEMs? Only a few years ago, it felt like everyone had wide earbuds, right? The Apple iPod brought portable music listening into the modern and digital era and made it accessible. I had just started high school when I had one of these, the third generation iPod Nano, and it felt like at the time everyone had a set of white earbuds hanging from their head. Fast forward to now when the miniaturization of tech is in full swing and wireless earbuds are the norm. And rightly so, the cable is gone and the music listening experience to the average listener is the same. Having a cable attached to your ears has been relegated to the enthusiast market. However, what you lose in convenience, you gain in audio quality. I guess because of the popularity of wireless earbuds, the enthusiast world of IEMs is not as prominent as the headphones and hi-fi sectors. So what are the GK Kuntens like as an introduction if you're looking to get into this hobby? So I bought these on AliExpress, which often has first-time customer discounts, which is how I bought these for just over $4. But you can often find them for less than that. Initial impressions, these look and feel seriously nice. The smoked black plastic looks premium, as does the grills on the outside, making them an open back style of IEM, which should open up the soundstage as well. Now, let's talk about two things, the cable and the ear tips. All over the Reddit reviews, people are recommending that you change both of these things. The ear tips I get, that's personal preference. But personally, I actually really like the fit. And of course, it comes with the 3 standard sizes in the box. However, the cable is also fine. I saw so many comments saying that this should be replaced immediately. And so in anticipation, I'd bought the 2 most commonly suggested cables, the TripoWin Zoni and the KB-Ear ST16. However, I had no real issues with the stock cable. Sure, it may look a little bit cheap with the clear plastic, but the whole product is cheap. As a quick overview though, the TripoWin Zoni is a really nice premium feeling cable and sounded similar to the stock cable. However, the KB-Ear ST16 felt like it was missing a lot of that low end, and it doesn't feel as premium as the Zoni. As with all hobbies though, there are traps for the new players. Case in point, when I bought these earphones, I assumed that they had the more standard 2-pin 0.78mm connector, which is why the Zoni has that connector. The GK Kuntens, however, use the recessed QDC connector, which is what I subsequently spec'd on the KB-Ear cable. Thankfully though, the standard 2-pin cable still works. Well, how do they sound? Actually, really good. What I immediately noticed was the amount of detail that you get, particularly in the really nice crisp highs and also nice 30 bass. For a bit over $4, you can't really go wrong. Depending on how much of a bass head you are, you also might like or dislike the amount of bass. As I said before, this is my first foray into the enthusiast IEM space, and so I'm comparing it to a varied range of audio experiences, primarily my Sennheiser HD6XXs, which are my daily driver when I'm at the desk, but also the Nothing EA wireless earbuds. Audio is such a subjective experience, so I'll do my best here. My preferred sound signature is a balanced frequency response with clear mids so I can really hear the nuance in the vocalist without the rest of the mix drowning them out. Also, crisp separation of all the different instruments is something that I look for. I like hearing the different components of a mix. And the Sennheisers give me that with a super wide soundstage that feels like the audio is all around your head. Where these really lack though is the bass, which isn't too surprising as they're quite open backed headphones. As I said before, the GK Kuntens have really nice bass and high frequency clarity. However, I feel like they miss out the most in that mid definition, particularly in a full band mix. And in comparison to the Nothing Ear A's, the bass and the clarity from the GK Kuntens just can't be matched. The soundstage feels wide for a set of in-ears, but will never match something like the Sennheisers or a set of stereo speakers. If these sound like minor gripes, you'd be correct, but you can't forget how cheap these things are. As an outsider who hasn't really been a part of the Reddit hype, these things sound too good to be true. At first, I thought the same thing, but there has been a revolution in the IEM space, which has been coined as Chi-Fi, or Chinese Hi-Fi. Really high quality IEMs from companies such as KZ, Kiwi Ears 7Hz, the list goes on, and you can find these on AliExpress and Amazon. This isn't particularly new, but it's so counterintuitive to the rest of the consumer audio industry, which thrives on premium brand names and, let's be honest, snobbery. The IEM subreddit is full of these Chi-Fi products, which you just don't see in the other audio communities of turntables, speakers, and headphones. But I hope that these other communities follow this similar trend, because it makes the hobbies way more accessible and less pretentious. If you happen to be a headphone enjoyer, you may ask, do these need a DAC or a headphone amp? Unless you have an ultra critical ear, I don't really think so. I tried these in a wide range of different applications, including my own dedicated headphone amp, my old LG V30, which has a built-in DAC, and just a basic USB-C dongle, and they all sounded fine to me. I wasn't too fussed. So if you want to see what the fuss is all about with the GK Kuntens, just try them out. Especially if you aren't already into the IEM space, you might be surprised what your hard-earned $4 can buy you these days.